Hello Year 2s. At this point of the final extended major projects, you have of course selected your 3 core areas that you're working towards in terms of your projects, whether it be digital publishing, film and photography and audio production, or 3 of any other domains that we've listed here for you. The creative industries is of course what we're training you to be employable within. Now, the proposal element of the final extended major project at this point is complete. The research should, at the very least, be in its second draft stage before you proceed into this 4th part of the final extended major project. The planning should absolutely be in place before you even think about watching the rest of this here video. We are focusing on creating. Point 4. So you're going to be using the audio or video and your design skills to create the product or products for your final extended major project. This is the production. You will need, and this is important, to evidence continual research. It is not tokenistic, done and then forgotten just to get onto the practical, figuring it out as I go fun bit. No, we are professionals. Research is continual. You are constantly adapting, iterating and evolving your practice, reacting and being proactive in relation to your particular area, your project, what you need. Examples to follow. The continual research needs to inform your product or products. We need to see how your research is connecting to your final extended major project. You'll be updating your diary blog every single lesson you work on your final extended major project with what you have done, why you have chosen to do that, justifying it, explaining it, giving examples, relating to industry, best practice, and which other techniques you could use to help you achieve the outcomes that you're aiming at. You'll be writing up any feedback you have from myself, Amanda, Michael, or Holly and Jay from my digital team. Write up that feedback and show us how you are reacting to it. And explain how this is impacting and improving your final extended major projects. So, the 4th part of 5 is about creating. The criteria is here for you to have a closer look at. We'll go over that in class, but what I want to do in this screencast today is to give you some examples. So here is a merits example of the final extended major project from last year, from Sully, who's very kindly allowed us to take a look at his work as an exemplar. So he's attached his work into this Google site for you to take a look at.
My name's Luna Rigby.
So you can actually have a look through and see how this work measures up against the merit criteria.
But then again,
so Sully had some technical difficulties in relation to his work, some logistical issues, perhaps didn't rehearse as much as he could have done. It had some nice elements in it, and he did manage to translate his research into the project, but it was not always as clear as it might have been how the research was informing his work. The professionalism, the distinction level of independent problem solving wasn't as there as much as it might have been. Yes, so, but there are some nice elements. For example, the flashback black and white section is quite well executed. But when you watch the rest of this, and I will link it to you in my lessons in this period of the final extended major project, you will see how the technical elements are not quite as fluent or as coherent or as professional as they might have been. For example, the shaky camera at this stage, the editing, the continuity, the rushed nature of certain elements. Hello, who's this character? But certainly worthy of a merit, partly due to the wonderful problem solving that Sully evidenced, these behind the scenes tests and practices. Not as many as there might have been, particularly not with the actors, which is really what it hinged on. How he took some elements from tutorials and then applied it into his work. That was nice to see, although not as well executed as it may have been. But this is quite good. His annotations of the tutorials as to how that informed his work. The behind the scenes shots here were quite nice, although I'd like to have heard more about how he executed certain elements of it. A little bit rushed towards the end there, but certainly worthy of merits. Now let's look, by contrast, at a distinction example. By the way, there you might have just seen me accidentally close down a tab, which is an annoying thing, isn't it, when that happens? Control, Shift and T will bring up any closed tab you accidentally close. For Harrison Skinner's production, he works with actors. He actually put out an advert to get actors, works with them, made sure they had tea and coffee and rehearsal time with him. He had a location he used. He works closely with people from the class. He's now in Brighton studying at university with Charlie, actually. The problem solving was evidenced quite nicely with little video clips like this of Harrison talking to his crew.
That was good, that one.
He's honest about things he didn't know and showed how he problem solved to create, for example, the fake blood in this instance. Would like to see more annotation here, but the execution was so good that we could forgive that. He hired out a hall to record this wonderful scene of this sort of rehabilitation clinic scene. The eye-opening effect in Premiere Pro he's attached here and extracted ideas for fonts from. Relatively minimal, as you can see here, but he was showing that behind the scenes process, and in his weekly logs, more to the point, he told us the story of what he was doing. And Harrison Skinner was someone who didn't necessarily like writing as much as others, but he told us the story of what he was doing and made it an undeniable case as to why he deserved that distinction by showing what he was taking from his research, what he'd learnt, how he will go again, how he will adapt. And the finished piece itself was fantastic. The rehearsals, the practice, the execution, the aspiration to professional level work is communicated so wonderfully in the final piece called I'm Done. I recommend you watch it. It is one of the best bits of work I've seen in the last couple of years from our students. It's about addiction. Some of the topics and themes are quite heavy, but his research, his thought process and his creativity synthesised so wonderfully to create something that is so undeniably distinction because it's so well planned, because the research is so well applied into the actual finished work itself. Because he set out to do something, and while he didn't quite achieve exactly what he wanted, his planning, his research, his execution was such that he landed somewhere higher than he would have had he not planned and researched and put in that time, the hard yards to practice his craft. Fantastic work. The feedback from people in the early stages really informed the edits, the rehearsal time. Just a wonderful piece of work. I'm not going to play any more now. I'll leave that for you to have a look at in your own time. Okay, so part 4, create. Again, here's what you need to do. Gather and use the audio, the video, the design skills, all the different elements for your final extended major project, and show us how continual research is informing the work. In your journal, diary updates, that's where you'll do that, okay? It doesn't stop. You continually research and update things. Here I am doing an OBS broadcast to you. I was researching 5 minutes before hitting record how to do this. In life, in industry, in any walk of life, you'll be continually researching and discovering things. This is no different, my friends. Make the case, tell the story. Section 4 is create. Any questions? Use the Google chat space. It is here for you to talk to us. Leave emojis as well, please. It's nice to leave an emoji. Let people know you've seen what they have shared. Okay, we're here to help you. Anything you need, message us. Good luck.